Today, we are diving into a really fascinating take on an ancient text. It lays out what's basically a divine law for wildlife preservation. And our source material argues that this law has been misunderstood for centuries, but wow, does it hold a powerful message for us today.
It all kicks off with this verse. And notice, it frames the relationship between humans and animals, not just as hunter and prey, but as a divine test. A test of restraint, with some pretty serious consequences if you mess it up. This really sets the stage for a very specific set of rules.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the foundation of this divine closed season for hunting. Then, we'll get into how its core command might have been misinterpreted. After that, we'll face the devastating consequences of ignoring these kinds of principles. And finally, we'll explore the built-in system for restoration. All right, let's start at the beginning, with the foundation of the law itself. What exactly does it command? Well, the next couple of verses lay out a very clear, very specific prohibition.
And boom, here it is, the absolute heart of the command, a direct order not to kill game during a specific period called Huram, or the sacred months. It's essentially a giant stop sign for all hunting activities.
And what's so smart about this is how it defines the scope. It makes this really sharp distinction, right? Hunting in the sea, that's fine, all year round. But land animals? Nope. They are explicitly protected during this sacred time. The focus is squarely on giving terrestrial wildlife a break.
So, what exactly is Huram? According to the interpretation we're looking at, it's way more than just a word. It's this whole concept. It represents a divinely mandated closed season, a time for humanity to just step back and let animal populations breed, recover, and thrive. You could almost call it a sanctuary in time.
And this isn't some vague idea either. The law gets super specific about when this happens. It's for 4 months of the Islamic lunar calendar: Muharram, Rajab, Zulqa'dah, and Zilhijjah. Think about that. For a full third of every single year, land animals are supposed to be left in total peace.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. The whole central argument of our source material is that the true universal scale of this command has been widely misunderstood for a very, very long time.
So check this out. On one hand, the common interpretation has often linked the word Hurum to the state of being a pilgrim in Mecca wearing special clothes. But our source argues that no, Hurum refers to the 4 sacred months themselves. And that makes this a universal law. It applies to every person everywhere on Earth, not just a specific group of people in one location.
If you think about it, the ripple effect of that reinterpretation is huge. It completely transforms the law from a localized ritual practice into this sweeping, global conservation plan. A worldwide closed hunting season designed to make sure species can survive and repopulate year after year after year.
So, what's the cost? What happens when principles like this are ignored? Well, history gives us a pretty grim answer. It's a tragic roll call of loss that we can never get back.
You see, the pace of extinction has been speeding up, and it's scary. The loss of the European forest cattle back in 1627 was a tragedy, sure, but the problem just got worse and worse. By the first half of the 20th century alone, we lost over 40 species, forever.
All in all, our source points out that within just the last 2,000 years, about 110 species of mammals have been completely wiped from the face of the earth, gone. Each one a unique thread in the tapestry of life, just snipped. Like the quagga, this really unique type of zebra from southern Africa. It was hunted into extinction in the wild, and the very last one died in a zoo in 1875.
Or the North American migratory dove. You probably know it as the passenger pigeon. Their flocks used to be so massive, they would literally darken the sky for hours at a time. The last one, a bird named Martha, died all alone in a zoo in 1914.
1 million. That is the number of American bison that were being killed every year between 1870 and 1875. They were hunted from moving trains, just for sport. Their population crashed from tens of millions down to barely 1,000. They were saved only by some incredibly strict, last-minute protections.
But here's the thing. This divine law, as our source describes it, isn't just a list of don'ts. It's actually a complete system. And that includes a very clear path for justice and restoration when the rules are broken.
And we're not talking about a friendly suggestion here. This is a law, and it has real teeth. For anyone who intentionally kills a land animal during those 4 sacred months, there's a clear system of penalties to make sure there's accountability.
The penalty system is both practical and profound. First up, you have to pay for what you did by offering livestock of equal value. But what if you can't afford that? Well, then the penalty becomes an act of charity. You feed the poor. And if even that isn't possible, the last option is fasting, a personal sacrifice designed to make you truly feel the weight of what you've done.
And this is a really important detail to catch. The law's focus is on the act of killing animal during its protected season. This isn't a dietary rule about what you can or can't eat. It's a conservation law, pure and simple. The goal is to let the animals live, to let them reproduce.
So all of this leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it?
Could an ancient law hold the key to modern conservation?
Could an ancient law like this actually hold a blueprint for our future? I mean, it presents a whole system of protected season, clear penalties, and a moral foundation that feels more relevant right now than maybe ever before.